Revere, and welcome to the Revere Veterans and Community Show. My name is Morris. I'm your host, but I have a great community veteran here. His name is Michael Falzone. Michael, thank you for coming.
Morris, thank you for having me. Always
Now,
a pleasure.
You are the owner of John's Pizza, so give us a little history about John's Pizza.
Well, John's Pizza opened up March 17th, 1978, ironically St. Patrick's Day. And started by my dad. Now it's a third-generation business. My son is currently working and managing the store, giving me the ability to have a little more free time and enjoy myself.
That's it.
Well, what do you want to know? Ask me.
Tell us about the family that works there, your kids and everything, because that's great.
Yeah, my middle son is working for me now, Nick Falzone. He's took over after doing 2 years in college, realizing college wasn't for him. So we invited him into the family business. It was a natural fit, a blend for him. He took to the business, the customers, the day-to-day operation naturally, and he's doing very well. And very proud of him.
I got to tell you, I have a dog home, right?
Yeah.
He loves the pizza, and do you know what his favorite pizza is?
No, but I'm sure you're going to tell me, Morris.
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni. Very good.
Okay, I thought you liked
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
Okay. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but they think pizza comes from a lot of countries, but it actually originated in Italy, I believe.
In Italy, yep. The folklore story goes that Queen Marguerite was passing through Naples, and a baker by the name of Raphael Esposito wanted to do something nice for her, so he made what he called the Marguerite pizza, which represented the colors of the flag. The red was the sauce, the white the mozzarella, and the green was the basil. And that's the traditional folklore story, but I believe in reality it came from, it was more of a peasant food in the old days. It was a way of eating stale bread by dipping it in the sauce, making it a little softer, and then building off of that and putting the cheese and stuff like that. It's a fancy, it's a bread that that's where it grew from.
I'd like to reminisce with you a little.
Sure.
Before we went on the air, you mentioned that you traveled. You went to Eagle's Nest and those places.
Yeah, in Europe.
Yep. Now I gotta
Visited 7 countries in 14 days.
In 1946, which is almost 70 years ago to be exact, I was a young GI there.
Yeah, wow.
Yep, as a young boy stationed in Germany. I went to Berchtesgaden because that's what the Eagle Nest is, the wolf's lair. Yeah. And when you go up the mountain, you can see Hitler's house, which was on the left on the roadway as you're going up.
Down lower, yeah.
Right. And then you went up to the Eagle's Nest, and over there is the South Skammergut, those 2 peaks that you see, those pictures that you see on the thing. Tell us a little about that trip, because it's going to bring back memories to me.
I'll tell you, when I went on the trip and they told us, I said, where did the name the Eagle's Nest came from? And the guy told us it was the American pilots. When they saw it, it looked like a nest nestled in the top of the mountains. And I asked her, I said, well, if the Americans pilots called it the Eagle's Nest, what did the Germans call it?
Wolf's Lair.
Wolf's Lair. Yeah, and at the time I caught her off guard, and she didn't know what I was talking about.
There was an elevator that went way down.
Down in the bottom, yeah, and it had a beautiful brass clock that almost looked like a Chelsea clock right in the elevator. It was gorgeous, and it went all the way up to the top. And surprisingly, Hitler was visited up there a couple of times.
That was his home.
The lower unit was, but the top was for more of entertaining and stuff. And it was pretty impressive. It was something to see.
Right, the big shots lived there. Hitler lived there. Hermann Goring lived there. Yep. Joseph Goebbels lived there. They lived pretty good.
And in the fire pit, they had all the money because the value.
The marks?
The marks, yeah. There's a story about World War I and how they just kept printing and printing money.
Now, you mentioned Salzburg. Did you go to Salzburg, Austria?
Yes.
Did you see Mozart's house?
Yes, we did. We went by it.
I got to tell you, as a young GI, when I was stationed, I think it was 46, and so I would say 47, there was a hotel there called the Hotel Pitter, P-I-T-T-E-R. I went on the computer. It's still in existence.
Still in existence,
It's still in existence after 70 years.
Yeah.
That was my barracks. We didn't I was with the intelligence, so they treated us a little better than the average GI. You know, they lived in barracks. We lived in the hotels, which I didn't think was right, but that's Army rules at the time.
You can't break the rules.
Right across the river from the Hotel Pitter was Mozart's house, which was yellow at the time. I don't know what color it was, like a yellowish.
Yeah, it was yellowish.
It's still yellow?
Yeah.
Did you go inside?
No, we didn't go. It was a limited tour. We went to see where they filmed The Sound of Music and
Right.
stuff. That was good. And we came back home and we watched the movie.
That was
and then
the-
we went to Connecticut to where they bought the hotel and the Stoles, was it the Von Trapps? And we went to their hotel up in Connecticut.
I think the place where they had the Passion Play there was the Mirabelle Gardens, if my memory serves me correct. But did you go up on the hill with the Schlesses or the castle? That castle up in Salzburg there?
No, we didn't.
Well, I used
We
to-
were on a tour bus and we hit the major sites and then we moved on to the next city and the next city.
You know, I don't want to give my age away after 70 years because I was only 17 at
That's-
the time.
You were a young recruit.
A very young recruit. But I tell you, I remember the place today as if it was yesterday. That's how things stick with you.
Yeah.
And Salzburg, Austria, I got to tell you, there was a displaced persons camp there after the war because a lot of the refugees were put in camps there. And it was my job to go around to speak to them and ask them where they came from, who they were looking for. And it was really sad at the
Yeah,
time.
I'm sure a lot of tragedy after all.
Did you visit Berlin?
No.
Did you visit Vienna?
No.
Okay. Did you go to Innsbruck? What part of Austria did you go to then?
Stolzberg.
Yep.
And then after we went through Switzerland, we were coming up from northern Italy, and we went through Austria, Switzerland, and then to France.
There
So-
was a place there in Austria called Braunau am Inn, right, where Hitler's house, you can see they have a plaque where he was born. And his father, Schickelgruber, Aloysius, I guess his name was, is buried there in the cemetery.
Yeah.
So give us a little about the other places you visited, Mike. Maybe I'll bring back some more memories to the old man.
We're in Rome. Rome was beautiful.
I
Went
never
to
went
the
to Rome.
Vatican. Was gorgeous. Absolutely. It's hard to believe it's over 2,000 years old and so pristine and so the marble work and the paintings and the sculptures and the aqueducts that are still in operation today and bridges. The United States is a very young country compared to when you travel in
Oh,
Europe.
yeah, we're only
and
200 and some
200,
odd.
they have a history of over 2,000 years.
I know.
And it's still going. The Colosseum, it was incredible to see the Colosseum. And, used for entertainment and sporting events and different types of theater productions and stuff, all put on by the senators and the Roman leaders to entertain the citizens of Rome.
They still got the
The
Titus Arch there.
Yeah. It was, and then we went to Venice.
Yep.
That was a beautiful.
The only place I got as far in Italy from Austria, which is not, is Florence.
Florence?
And that is a beautiful city. We got lost at night traveling in a Jeep because we were heading down north. And we got lost on those mountain roads. And there was an Italian family that put us up for the night, treated us for breakfast in the morning, and wished us good luck on our way.
That was very nice of them. When we got to England, I was in England, then we crossed the channel in a ferry. They were having the Normandy celebration, and the President of the United States was there and laying a wreath and everything. But we were on the outskirts, and we weren't
Obama
allowed.
was there at the time?
No. This was a trip I did over 10 years ago.
Oh.
I think it was George Bush,
Bush,
that was
yeah.
there. Yeah, he visited and laid a wreath on the beaches and stuff.
Oh,
in
the beach
tribute.
at Normandy, you
At
mean?
Normandy, yeah. Because when we crossed the channel in the ferry, the entire entourage was off in the distance.
I got to ask you, you're a boss over at the John's Pizza.
And John's Pizza, yeah. For the last, I've been running for the last 19 years now.
When your employees make a pizza, what do you usually say to them?
Hurry up!
No, that's a good one. But you know, usually I thought you would say there's mushrooms for a pizza.
Oh, there's much more room for improvement.
Mushroom for improvement.
Yeah, mushroom. You
I
get it.
thought I got to get that little joke in. But here's
You
something.
did your research. You did your homework, Morris. I'm very impressed.
No, Google. By the way, I got to tell you,
I love Google. Google is incredible.
you know, we got another dog just about a week ago. And guess what I call him? Google.
Google?
Yep.
The puppy's name's Google?
Yep.
Wow.
He's going to be a smart dog.
He's
You
going to know everything.
Okay. If I was a novice and I wanted to make a pizza and I have no idea how to make it, for the Italian people out there, the Polish, the Germans, the Russians, the French, whoever, tell us.
I say save a lot of time and effort and call John's Pizza. But if you wanted to make
Hold on,
your
hold on,
own,
before you start, do you deliver?
yes, we do. But right now we deliver to Chelsea only. We keep it a limited delivery area.
Oh, just in
Because
Chelsea?
yeah, once you start getting into other communities like East Boston, Revere, during school traffic hours or heightened traffic hours, my drivers would never come back. So we try to keep it simple, keep it local, and be fast and consistent rather than all over the place. And that's why we have a small menu, and that we have a mentality like my father taught me: keep it simple, son. You know.
That's good. Now let me ask you, John. I mean, Mike. Excuse me. If I wanted to make a pizza and I don't have the slightest idea, tell me how I would do it.
Well, the first thing I would tell you to do is I would ask you to stop by the pizza shop and buy the dough from me. That's the hardest part and the most complicated.
Is it a special dough?
Yeah, it's a special dough. We use a special flour. It's a high gluten flour that allows it to be stretched out. We will do all the work with the yeast. And my father used to say, you know, dough's got to be made with love and nurturing, because yeast is a living, live substance. It's a bacteria that grows in the dough.
Right.
And if you don't know, I can give you my dough recipe, but if I don't tell you how to make the dough and when to make it and proof it and how long to leave it out, when to put it in the refrigerator, you have a useless recipe. You're just going to mix flour, water, salt, sugar, yeast together. You're going to get a big blob of dough. You got to roll it. You got to knead it. You got to proof it. There's a lot of work and preparation to get it right before we put it in the oven. So I would ask you to pick up the dough from me, and then after taking home, they sell a special ceramic pizza tablet you can put in your oven. You preheat that up, you make it, you slide it on the board, and 10, 15 minutes later, you put all your favorite ingredients on it. It's real simple, real easy to do. But I'll tell you, I told my friend about this, and he went out and he bought the ceramic stone. And he made a pizza, and he put it on the stone, and he put the stone in the oven, and the pizza came out raw. I forgot to tell him that he had to put the stone in the oven while he was making the pizza so the stone can get hot. Because that's the print, you know, it's identical to the hot stones that we have in the pizza oven. And he said, Mike, the pizza came out terrible. It was raw on the bottom. It was cooked on the top. And I said, how'd you do it? He says, well, I made the pizza. I put it on the stone, and I put the pizza in the stone in the oven, and it didn't cook right. But you can do it. It's a lot of fun. I have...
Do you have to have a stone to put the pizza on?
Yeah, you need a stone for an Italian-style pizza. If you do a Greek-style pizza, which is a pan pizza, they put it in a pan and they let the dough proof in the pan, and then they sauce it and cheese it and they cook it. And it's a different style of pizza. I like the traditional Italian style, hand stretched, cooked on the stone.
What are some of the things that you put on the pizza? I know pepperoni is one.
Pepperoni, yeah,
Right.
for the puppies.
No, what are some of the things
You
that
know,
you can...
the beauty about pizza is you can make it any style you want. You can do Italian-style sausage, kielbasa. When Chelsea had a large Polish community, we used to do a kielbasa pizza, pepperoni. Right now, the Spanish community, they enjoy pineapple and bacon or ham pizza. We call that a Hawaiian pizza. Buffalo chicken pizza, broccoli wrap, and sausage and garlic.
How many different types are there?
It's endless. Whatever you can think of, you can put on a pizza and be creative and make it your style, make it your whatever you like.
I know when I order a pizza, and I always say put mushroom and peppers because I like them. No cheese, but mushroom and peppers. That's my style of pizza.
My favorite's anchovy and onion, well done on Sunday with the cold beer and watching a football game with friends. But everybody has their own. Plus, you know what? With the anchovies, not that many people partake in it, so there's more for me.
I got to tell you, I have a friend of mine, and he comes from the state of Florida.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's true or not.
I think I know where you're going with this because I hear it all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you what he asked me, Mike, if I may.
Sure.
He said, why pizzas in Florida taste different than pizzas in New England? And I says, how can that possibly be? Is that true?
It's definitely true, and it comes down to very basic, most simplest ingredients out of them all, and that's the actual water in the dough when you make the dough. And Pizza Today, which is a trade publication magazine, did a study, and they used all the exact same ingredients for three pizzas. One was from California, one from Chicago, and one from New York. and the only ingredients they changed was the water. So they made 3 identical pizzas. The
Same weight and everything?
Everything was identical. The flour, the yeast, the sugar, the cheese, the sauce. New York water, Chicago water, and California water. And then they had chefs, professional experts, come in and taste them. And the New York pizza came in first, Chicago second, California last.
And the water made that much?
The water reacts, like we talked earlier, the yeast is a live, living substance, and it reacts differently with different types of water. Hard water, like in certain parts, well water, it doesn't react well and just leaves a bitter taste to it, and it doesn't rise. It doesn't have that freshness to it. And it's an interesting study that they did, and I was amazed when I read the article, the results.
I gotta say, thank God they didn't use the water from Flint, Michigan.
Terrible. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that water which was polluted.
That was polluted. That was
right.
Yeah.
I never knew that the water.
Chinese food, the same thing. A lot of people come from Florida. They come up to the pizza shop and they tell me that the Chinese food in Florida tastes different. The pizza's different. They're like, Mike, you come to Florida, you'll be rich, you'll be a millionaire. This is the best pizza. I tell them I can't make this pizza. I'll tell you another interesting story about the water. A gentleman from Boston went to Hawaii. He got the water in Hawaii, brought it back to the universities and said, what do I need to duplicate this water to make it like Boston water? What, treatments do I need? They gave him a formula and a thing. He went back to Hawaii and opened up Boston Pizza. And now he owns, last count, I think he was up to 13 stores. And he's doing very well.
In Hawaii?
In Hawaii. When I was in San Diego, I stopped by a pizza shop, and they had a big stainless steel tank on the outside, and they said New York style pizza made with New York water. They had truckloads of water coming from the springs in upstate New York to the pizza shop, topping their tanks off, and they used that water just to make their dough.
As a layman, I would think the water would be the same in the Pacific where Hawaii is as it is in the Atlantic, because between the Panama Canal, the water's merged.
It mixes, yeah.
Right. So I wouldn't understand why it's so different there than it is east and where it's different east and west.
It's different everywhere you go, yeah. I remember growing up, and I got a job in Lynn. My mother used to tell me, don't drink the water in Lynn, Woburn, when they had all the contamination. And
the same thing when years ago in Mexico, they said, don't drink the water.
Don't drink the water. Montezuma's
right.
revenge.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. We talked about making pizza. We talked about pizza originate. Do you see anything coming up in the future for pizzas? Now, let me ask you, they have a lot of machines today that do things by remote control. In Japan, I know you're going to laugh at this, they have robots that do the pizza making. Robots. Does that put a thought in your mind?
Well, at the pizza shop, we've become innovated over the years. We have an elaborate point-of-sale system, which is the register. So if you called up, the computer automatically starts creating a history based on your phone number. That would be your personal number because you would use it all the time. So we would have a history of all the types of pizzas you ordered. We would have your address. And you can just call up and say, hey, Mike, it's me, Morris. Give me my last order.
Oh, the computer does all that for you?
Yeah, and then prints out the slips to the appropriate station so that the employees could, make the order. And it doesn't let you out of one screen until you ask all the right questions. So if you ordered a sub, it will take you to the toppings page, and you would have to put the topping in. And then you would have to say if it's toasted or not toasted. Then you hit done. Until you ask all the right questions, you can't exit out of that screen. So it minimizes mistakes.
Then let me ask you this question. If it hasn't been invented yet, start thinking about it.
Start thinking about it, yeah.
Okay. No, let's say I call up and I have a favorite pizza, mushroom, green peppers, etc., and the computer prints it out. Is there a machine on the market yet that you just put that program in and your pizza comes out the way you want it? I don't know.
Hopefully, I'll never see it in my day. I still very much enjoy hand stretching and working the pizza, and each pizza is different. Each pizza has its own characteristics and look. You catch me on a good day, you get a perfectly round pizza. Catch me on a bad day, it might be a little warped. It might be a little oval shape. On Sundays, they come out. They tend to stick on the board a little bit. They'll come out looking like a football.
So they have cutters that do different shapes with the pizzas too?
No, we still stretch them by hand.
No, what I mean after the pizza's done, like if you want to cut them, instead of cutting them in eighths, you can take like a cutter.
Yeah,
like
they
that.
have a cookie cutter. You can stamp the lines in it and then cut the lines. But I still do it very fast. And when I do it real fast, the slices come out different sizes. And the customers will look at it and says, "What happened?" I says, "Oh, that's family style. Those are for the kids and the bigger ones are for the grown-ups."
Mike, I hate to ask you this. When you came up here, you had a box of pizza with you.
Yes, I did, Morris. And I know you're looking over.
Right.
I did bring you a slice, and I brought me a slice.
Right, I like
There we go. Give it a taste.
Right. Now, what kind of pizzas are these?
This is just a simple cheese. I didn't want a chance putting the wrong toppings on.
No,
Didn't know if you had any allergies.
Right, now I got to ask you this question. Is half of it from Florida and the other half from Boston?
I have the Florida pizza. You have the Boston water
okay.
pizza. No, it's all from the Quabbin River.
Delicious.
Quabbin, yeah.
Delicious.
Actually, the MWRA has one of the best waters in the country, too. That's why Boston pizza is fabulous, just like a New York style pizza.
Is there a difference between the New York style and the Boston pizza, Mike?
The New York style pizza tend to be stretched out a little thinner and larger.
I got to ask you, how do they know when they're twirling the thing in the air when to stop?
That's a good. I actually met the world championship pizza spinner, and he can roll the pizza up and down his shoulder and his back and flip it under his legs and stuff. I never developed the skill because every time I tried to do it, my father would always have a comment because he wasn't good at it either. So when the customers came in and said, "Hey, John, spin the pizza," he says, "You don't play with the food. You don't play with the food." It's because he wasn't good at it.
All right, now, since you mentioned that he could spin it this big, what is the biggest, do you know?
The world's largest
pizza?
No.
I should have gone on Google. I'll ask Google.
You can ask Google, but we make a 16-inch pizza, and then for a house pie, which is for the slices, we make a 20-inch pizza, a little bigger pizza, so the slices would be bigger.
So that's good. So people want to, if they have like a pizza party and things like that?
Oh yeah, we do all the schools, the non-profits and stuff like that. And I'll tell you, when being a small shop owner and being involved in, I was lucky to do get involved in the Boys and Girls Club in Chelsea. And this young gentleman always used to come in, and he was the director of the Boys and Girls Club, and I didn't know. And after like the third or fourth time he left, somebody says, "Do you know who that is?" I says, "No, who was it?" He said, "That's Josh Kraft." Josh Kraft who? Josh Kraft, as in Bob Kraft's son. He runs the Boys and Girls Club in Chelsea. And now we moved on. Now he's the director.
The Patriots owner?
The Patriots owner's son. So I got to meet Bob Kraft. I got on the board there. I got to meet Bob Kraft. I was at his house because we worked on a fundraiser to raise money to build the Boys and Girls Club. And I met Myra. Myra was alive at the time. And a very nice family. And they treated me and my friends well, and all our Rotarian friends. We were invited to his house.
Did you ever have any famous people come into your store, by the way?
Donny Osmond, when he did the play in Boston, he was staying in Chelsea.
Was he?
Yeah, and he had pizzas delivered. We had some, I forget their names. They were more my delivery drivers fans. We had baseball players and Celtics players that lived in Chelsea and that they ordered from us.
Mike, I want you to do me a favor. We got the holiday Christmas season coming up, and we send troops to the carts. Would you give us the honor of just signing one to say something nice for the troops
Sure.
to sign your name? Or you're using John's Pizza, and here's the pen for it. And by the way, these cards go to our troops overseas. They're put into a package. And Operation Troop Support under the direction of Colonel Moody from Danvers, Massachusetts. He makes sure that they go overseas.
Yeah.
And
you have an event coming up, I
yes,
believe,
we
right?
have an
The Senior
event
Center?
coming up November the 15th between 12:30 and 2:30. We love the people of Revere to come down. Now, if you do sign a card, don't seal it. You put the card in the envelope just like this. Come on, Butterfingers. You take the flap, shove it inside. Do not seal it.
And don't write on the outside.
And do not write on the outside, right, Mike? Because they'll throw it away. So
Yeah.
that's what we like.
And these
to
are going to
do.
be bundled and
No,
shipped
they
out?
go into packages that go overseas with the
A
troops.
care package?
Yep.
Excellent. That's a nice program that you're doing over there.
No,
Morris,
that's
and-
what Colonel Moody does, and the one that originated at our senior center, I got to give her credit, is the lady with the red hair, Pamela Anderson. So she wanted to start that thing for the veterans over there, which is a great thing that we do.
And
Now,
once again, what's the date?
the date is November the 15th on a
November
Tuesday between 12:30 and 2:30.
I'll stop by.
Stop by. And the people, if they have blank Christmas cards, not religious cards, but just Christmas holiday cards.
Holiday cards. I
Christmas
don't-
cards.
yeah, Christmas
Drop
cards.
them off at the senior center if they're blanks anytime between now and November the 15th. And if you want to sign them yourself out there and write a nice note, and like I say, don't seal it,
Yep.
empty. Write the note, and when you come down on November the 15th, just give it to us. That's all you got to do. So we're going to be working on that for a little while.
I heard you got a new sound system.
Yep, I got to thank Bob Hass.
Bob Hass, you got
Yeah, Councilor Bob Hass at large. He happened to hear about the system that we didn't have, and he took us down, and he got us a beautiful, nice sound system, 740 watts. You could plug a USB tube into it.
Yeah.
It has an FM radio, and it also has a CD player. I hope this one doesn't evaporate. Okay.
Well, I got to tell you,
We got 2 minutes. Take a minute and a half, Mike. It's all yours.
ever since I got more and more involved in the city of Revere, and one of my greatest pleasures was meeting you.
Thank
because
you.
you are truly a treasure to the city of Revere.
Thank you.
And impressive. You know, the way you just hit these high-tech gadgets and the phones and on the computer, and the joy that you bring to others at the senior centers by sharing what you're learning with them. No wonder why you earned Army
I got to
intelligence.
give credit where credit is due. I'm not the one to hawk the credit. I got to thank Mr. Bob Dunbar from Revere TV, who taught me how to work on the computer, who was always doing it for me until finally he says, no, you're going to do it yourself, and he made sure I learned how to do it.
Right.
And Bobby Driscoll that works here, and Rick Promise. We got the three greatest people in the city of Revere. I think we got the three greatest people in the country that do this stuff.
You got a great program here at Revere
Yeah.
TV.
And by the way, we're approaching our 300th show, and you got to watch, folks, because in our 300th show,
I heard there's going to be a special guest.
oh, folks, this guest is going to be unbelievable. And Mike, we got 55 seconds, so I'm going to say I want to thank you very much for coming on.
Morris,
here.
thank you for calling me, and thank you for reaching out.
It's a pleasure to have you.
And just
it's
to
an
let
honor
people
to
know,
have you here.
You reached out to me on Facebook. That was great.
Oh, is that where I...
That's where you saw me on Facebook. You reached out, but when you use all capital letters, that's screaming. So you have to
I
tone
can't-
down your.
No. The reason I
letters.
use capital letters, I'll be honest with you, my
Easier to
eyesight,
read?
my eyes, exactly. I cannot see good. I got
Okay.
cataracts in both eyes. I shouldn't even be saying that.
But in the
Anyway.
computer world, capital letters is the
I know,
equivalent to screaming. So
I know that. But anyway, I want to say thank you, Mike. God bless you. God bless our troops.
Thank you,
Here
Morris.
abroad and all our military. And God bless the people of Revere, but most of all, our great country, the United States of America. And Mike, I want to keep the Pledge of Allegiance in school all the time.
Absolutely.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Morris.